Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about DeliverThat gig review. So one of the things I constantly preach on this channel is to diversify your gig portfolio and sign on to as many platforms as possible. One of the platforms that I've been on for a while now is DeliverThat. I made one video on it, but since I started getting used to how the system works, my opinion on it has drastically changed and I need to remake it. So in this video, we are talking about everything you must know about DeliverThat, what they tell you versus how it actually is, and everything in between. But before we do that, let's go over a quick disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain, is never intended to be, legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to be clear that everything that we're going to be going over in this video is very market dependent, and what applies to me in my market may not apply to you. So with that said, let's get started. What is DeliverThat? DeliverThat is changing the delivery industry. Professional drivers dedicated to customer service and professionalism. Join us to change the perception of delivery by providing exceptional customer service. They are a catering platform that claims to be by drivers for drivers. That said, they actually have been pretty good to me overall, so maybe there is some validity there. Sign up requirements. I'm going to refer to them on this section for the most part, but I'm going to make important notes along the way because this can be very misleading in case people don't know. While we do not require any gig experience, it may help to understand how we operate. I would argue if you don't have prior experience, you would have a hard time with it and give up a little too soon, especially with some of the order claiming practices. Prior experience from Doordash, UberEats, and Grubhub may be vital to you here, and maybe even Instacart based on the way you claim orders. Minimum requirements to become a driver. Be comfortable using smartphones and apps. Be comfortable using your vehicle to deliver the orders. Be legally eligible to work in the United States and Canada. These three requirements alone are the main reason to consider having more experience as a gig worker first. People who are already familiar with our work will not think much of it. This is just another day at the office. Be 21 years of age or older. So not like DoorDash where it's 18 and older, you have to be 21 and older. Have at least 2 insulated catering bags and a clear 5-year MVR. I would actually say with how big some of these orders can be, you might want to look into 5 unbranded bags, but I'm going to go over that later in the video. Engage with our support teams. This might be one of the most ironic points of this, but that is for another video. And don't get me wrong, the support teams are actually pretty solid here. Take pride in your service and appearance. This is actually where this starts to differ from normal gig work, where these are catering orders. These aren't a normal food delivery orders. You will have to look the part by wearing business casual attire, collared shirt, pants, set up the catering orders, and have a decent amount of customer service skills. You don't have to be the most friendly person in the world, but you do need to have a certain amount of customer service skill set. If you're the kind of driver that barely cares about your work and can't even be bothered to not wear pajamas, then you really don't need to be here. Use our driver app for problem solving and maximizing your earnings. Trust me, there are going to be times where you have to figure out what the heck happened and properly plan a route out for yourself. In addition to the requirements above, candidates must pass the webinar and quiz stage in the registration. Failing to pass the quiz may indicate lack of knowledge about crucial aspects of the job, such as navigation, customer service, or the platform's policies. Candidates are encouraged to watch the videos for each set of questions on the stage to improve their chances of success. If you receive a rejection text message, that means the questions were not answered correctly to become a driver. But prior experience isn't required, right? Day to day. Let's get the main points out of the way first. Almost no order you receive is going to be the same day. Like very few and far between. Usually it is the day prior and you schedule yourself out. Sometimes it is a couple of hours unless something went down on your order. It could sometimes even be the same hour or otherwise the next day. Again, this is catering delivery. So in a lot of cases, you are either picking it up before they open or just when they're opening. But they are big on making sure orders are done on time. They're not too early, not too late. So you can't be 20 minutes early and you can expect to leave right away. In fact, they penalize you for being too early sometimes. Pro tip, if you're too early for any reason, just chill out in your car until it's like 5 to 10 minutes before pickup time. It's just enough time for them to finish the order, you bag the stuff up, and here's another important step, get the signature from the staff. They have general rules apply to the drop-off, but instead of a signature, you take the picture and set up and you leave. Income expectations. Now let me be clear, you are not paid for your time, you are paid for the work you do. Yet another reason why experience is kind of a necessity for this kind of gig. Now what I like about this is that they definitely stand by their word. On average, each delivery pays out between $25 to $35. Our pay model is based on the order size and the mileage of the delivery. Based on our average, the larger the order or the farther you drive, the more you are paid over that $25 to $35 average. Weird thing is that they never give you a total for ezCater orders specifically. They kind of give you the parts that you can expect from each order and you put it together, which makes sense with their tip pooling system, but more on that later. The parts that they do give you are delivery commission, extra mileage commission, surge commission, gratuity, adjustment, and incentive. The parts of the business model you mostly need to worry about is delivery commission, extra mileage commission, and gratuity. And they pay out twice a week on Wednesdays and Fridays. Now, I do have a couple of side notes that I would like to go over on this subject. Now, some people only know ezCater through their orders on Doordash and their large order program, sometimes through Uber. And because of that, they have a predetermined dislike for any company that uses it. I do have to say one thing though. You may not dislike ezCater in the way you think.
ezCater are always these large orders that have no tip on it. It's disgusting. And they are a total waste of our time.
See, orders that are run by ezCater and go to DoorDash or UberEats are done that way because no one would take them. Orders on ezCater are sent to apps that have catering orders coming through all the time and specialize in that kind of work. And for those that aren't accepted, they just get forwarded to DoorDash or Uber Eats, meaning they just get the crumbs. The other point made on this is specifically with this app, their tip pooling system, but more on that later. Challenging the claim orders. There are some that have signed up with DeliverThat, including myself for a period of time, where they have a hard time just getting orders because getting orders is a combined system of first come, first serve and queue-based. Meaning by the time you get the notification, you could lose your shot at even getting the order in the first place, which what the hell? I feel like a cat trying to catch a little red dot and confused why it can't get it. That said, there are some tricks that'll help you get more orders, such as pattern recognition, behavioral analysis, and a better understanding of the system as a whole, and programs within the company that can give you an advantage. That said, I'm gonna make more videos on this in the future. Stack your own orders. The interesting thing about this company is that you never get stacked orders because of the nature of the system at the moment, but you could stack them yourself, and they even encourage it in some cases. I have done back-to-back and double orders based on how some of the orders line up that have made me over $60 in a given hour. The other day I had 3 hours of work and I made over $120. It was incredible. Equipment necessary. For this company, you are mainly doing catering orders, which means you're gonna need more than what most people have as DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub drivers. I would recommend 5+ unbranded bags. Trust me, it is when you get the big orders when you start to realize that is the case. I also say unbranded because you don't want to use DoorDash bags when you're on this app, or really any bag that isn't unbranded or DeliverThat. Think about a few things. If you don't like orders on DoorDash and you want more orders on other apps, why would you promote their company? Also, how disrespectful would it be to take a DeliverThat order and then promote somebody else's company? Not to mention if you work with other catering companies as well, they're kind of anal about it too. That's why I personally prefer unbranded bags, so I'm not just mixing and matching between everybody. I would also recommend having a dolly and or a wagon, and trust me, when you carry 4 heavy bags of food at a time and you realize you need to work smarter and not harder, that's when you're gonna realize you need it. Not to mention how struggling struggling like that can make you perceived as unprofessional when you're trying to carry 4 catering bags worth of food, and that almost seems like you don't know what you're doing. Mostly weekday afternoons. The majority orders I receive are in the afternoons going to offices, being business to business relationship. Usually I find the most orders start between 10:30 and 11:15, although that could be very different depending on the person or the office that which you're going to. Sometimes they start at 11:30, so they stack well, but sometimes they start at 12, sometimes they start at 1, etc. Sometimes you're going to get breakfast orders. Those are my personal favorite orders. Rarely do I get any evening orders, but that's not impossible either. Also, because they're going to offices, a lot of the orders are Monday through Friday, so keep that in mind for this company as well. Mostly offices. I said this in my last point, but a lot of the orders that I receive are from offices. More specifically, doctors, lawyers. And if that's the case, beware, but that's not the point. Some doctors' offices are kind of small and narrow. Like, I have actually had challenges maneuvering my body through them. And that could also mean you have no surface area. But that's not the point of this. If you are concerned with the lack of orders coming through, don't be. Most of the orders are businesses that order all the time and aren't subject to the ebbs and flows that food and grocery delivery would have in terms of order flow. Tip pooling. This is the point that everybody knows and hates, is the prospect of tip pooling. For ezCater orders specifically, you will see orders that say this line under gratuity. This delivery qualifies for the ezCater tip pool. The tip pool typically ranges between $21 to $27 per delivery. All ezCater gratuities are passed 100% to the drivers who take them and are split evenly amongst only ezCater deliveries. Now, they have also claimed that it hasn't fell below $21 since summer of 2022, and that seems to be true, actually speaking. Almost every time it seems like it's around the $23, $24 area. It doesn't seem like much, but with a commission of being a minimum of $7, you're looking at $30 per order, at least. This actually introduces something that I like to call the DeliverThat standard into the catering market, meaning that if you are receiving an order from a company that has less value than the DeliverThat standard, you're losing money on the opportunity cost. But we're going to definitely go into that in another day. Not only ezCater. So more recently, I have noticed how some deliveries are not through ezCater at all, through direct partnerships with DeliverThat, which is great for them. And all of those people that are against the tip pooling system, this is cool for them too. But there's a catch that isn't being noted here. No tip customers order catering as well. And some of those customers don't have a choice. Like I said earlier, some of those drop-offs are to offices. And because they are offices, they have a policy in place about tipping in their food budget. This is why they use the tip pooling system in the first place, and it isn't loved by everyone, but some offices are just like that. Either way, double check before finalizing a no-tip order. Bot invasion. This is actually a common thought with any company that operates on a queue-based system, that there's going to be some bot problem on the app, where there could be, and I wouldn't say every time, but sometimes it's just harder to get some orders on the app as well, so people are thinking it's a bot problem, or there are ghost orders, or there's no way that other people could get the order before you, right? Either way, if they have this problem, I wouldn't be surprised, but I can also think that with the way they are connection delays and all that, that I wouldn't be surprised if it's not a bot problem at all. Works best when multi-apping. DeliverThat is an app that works best with multiple apps. I think it is great for sure, but I still think a healthy portfolio of gig apps is important. In just the catering side of things, you got Food Fetch, Delivered if you're willing to work with shady people, Zifty, Skipcart, Jackrabbit Deliveries, Time to Eat SoFlo, the list can go on. And that doesn't even account for all the cartwheel companies, only a handful of them. And there are other verticals that have similar payouts. Just don't get too dependent on this one, is the only thing I'm trying to say here. DeliverThat For Sale? I've heard this through the grapevine, but DeliverThat is a company that is also for sale at the moment, which means I don't know how long this company will be around or who will buy it, and if everything I say will be accurate by the time you see this video. Just make sure that the content you watch has current and accurate data. Is it worth it? I mean, look, I like this app. I think right now as well, it represents the standard for how much drivers should expect to be paid on catering orders. But right now, it just seems like it's best for full-time gig workers rather than part-timers. Part-timers will likely have scheduling conflicts with their 9 to 5 rather than a full-timer, which probably doesn't have those issues much at all. So that is my opinion on it. I would say it's a good app for me as a full-time gig worker, not necessarily for everyone else. Did I miss anything? Is there something else about DeliverThat as a gig that I have yet to cover in the overview of this company? Let me know in the comments. Let's make sure that anybody and everybody knows exactly what to expect with this app so we can make the most amount of money in the least amount of time in the safest possible way. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.